Hey, chickadees. Tonight we're gonna put a new spin on that old saying, keep your ear to the ground. And we're gonna listen for something that most of us don't normally listen for. And we're gonna let that new saying take on a new meaning for you tonight. So come on in and join us. Hey chickadees, welcome into another episode. So we're going to continue our 7-day reading out of the Oracle of the Seven Energies. So this is the 7 energy crescent reading. Maybe I got it right. I'm not holding my breath, and neither should you. But this is out, like I said, out of the Oracle of the Seven Energies. This is by Colette Baron Reid, and we are on day 5 of this 7-day reading. So we'll recap, hopefully relatively quickly. So day 1, or card 1, was shining through. This card was representing energy that had been originated in the past that's still present in our lives today. And shining through, being the card for to represent those past energies, was reminding us to be authentically who we are. And so, and it's interesting. So I'm going to explain these cards, and I'm going to tell you the arc of what I'm seeing so far. So that was card 1. Card 2 was Spirit of Gratitude. And so this was representing energy that is present today and active in our lives today. And so Spirit of Gratitude is reminding us to really develop an attitude of gratitude, find things to be grateful for wherever we can. Sometimes when we're wrapped up in some negative emotions, that can be difficult to do. But this card is reminding us to try to find anything, any little thing that we can, to begin to kind of reorient us back into that place where we live from a place of gratitude. And then card 3 was representing what is hidden for us, and this was Smoke and Mirrors. This is all about illusion, and we talked a lot about what we see in our 3-dimensional world is nowhere near all that's actually present in our world, and that if we can get past the illusion of what we think we're seeing, we're going to actually see so much more. And so that led us to yesterday's card, which is what the obstacle is that's in our way, and this was card 47. This is Sacred Reverence. So we talked a lot about yesterday about really developing and maybe redeveloping, in some cases, a deep reverence for all things that are sacred, and the things that once we clear away the illusions of relative reality and we see what is ultimately there, which is a much richer place to live, I'll just say, because it certainly is for me, that the obstacle is to make sure that we develop reverence for what we see in ultimate reality. So that gets us to today. And what is really interesting and really started to form concretely for me yesterday was the fact that it's laying out the path. So it's the spiritual path, right? First, you become authentic, or you begin on a path, choose a path to become authentically who you are, which is a spiritual being having a human experience. So we step out on that path, we begin to become more and more authentically who we are. We do this with developing an attitude of gratitude, right? Then we begin to really experiment and investigate with the world around us and determine that maybe there's more to this than what we're actually seeing. And then the answer is, yes, there is more than you're actually seeing, and we develop reverence for that. Excuse me. So that gets us to today. Today is the helper energy. And so we'll just see what we have today. We'll turn the card over. Oh, we have card 33, Ears Wide Open. So this is a very interesting card for helper energy, because what it's telling us is that we have to listen closely, and that it's more important to understand others around us and what's going on around us, what's really going on, not what is presented at surface level, but what's really going on underneath the surface level. And Ears Wide Open is reminding us of that. So to first seek to understand and then to be understood. And yeah, so my experience has been that if I just will kind of stop, then things become very clear to me very quickly. And here's what's really interesting about this card. For literally 5 days in a row, including this morning, every morning I pull a couple of cards, and today was the 5th day in a row that I have pulled stillness. 3 of these days so I pulled 2 cards, 1 card out of 2 different decks. So for 3 of these days, it was the same card coming out of one deck. And for 2 of these days, it was the same stillness card coming out of another deck. So my big question is, okay, you've got my attention, guys. Like you've had my attention for 5 days, but literally every single day we have done this pull. I have pulled a personal card that is stillness. And then the second card that I pulled, it has varied a little bit, but for the last 2 days, it's been some variation on, actually yesterday and the day before, it was a variation on flow, right? So we have stillness and flow. And stillness literally was pulled every single day that I've pulled each of these 5 cards up, and including today. So ears wide open. The message is get still and listen. That's the real message here for us. So get still and listen. This does not mean that we're not in action. It means that we're still on the inside. So, and I know I've mentioned that before on this channel. We're going to talk a lot more about that in 2026 as we get closer to the book Shift coming out, getting published, because there's a whole part in that book about stillness. And so this is what they're trying to get my attention and your attention on today is just stop on the inside, stop and be still, and make sure you're in deep stillness and you can connect to the flow of how all of this comes together. So, wow, short message tonight, but I clearly see the pattern continuing. This is literally like the steps on your sacred journey. So yeah, authenticity, gratitude, realizing things are an illusion around us, understanding what the true reality is through reverence of all things sacred, and then beginning to really get still and listen to what's really going on. Not the smoke and mirrors, but the sacred reverence piece of this, what's really going on underneath the surface. So, wow. All right. That's really it, chickadees, for tonight. I hope you have a great night. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button if you want to see more of this in your feed. And we will see you tomorrow. Mwah.